What is security group? Security group is a virtual stateful firewall that controls inbound and outbound network traffic to AWS resources and Amazon EC2 instances. Okay. Basically, what happens, whatever AWS resources are there, every resource will be followed group rules for security purpose. Let us say a resource means the end resource is virtual machine. Virtual machine will have group. That group will have rules. What rules? The protocol rules, whether TCP/IP, HTTP, HTTPS, such kind of rules. So if those rules are there, within that rules, if the communication is coming to this particular EC2, then this group is going to allow that communication to that particular machine. Right?
Okay, sir.
So all Amazon EC2 instances must be launched into a security group. If a security group is not specified at launch, then the instance will be launched into the default security group by for the Amazon VPC. What is the default security group? Every account will have default security group when we create the account in AWS, whether corporate or free tier or anything. But we're not supposed to use them. We are supposed to see what are our security permissions, what are our security policies for that server to access or virtual machine access. Then we need to give only that protocol communication only, right?
Okay. Yes, sir.
And there are port numbers also, to which port number it should go, request, such kind of things. So when request comes, the request will have port number and IP address, and through which protocol we are receiving. There's a lot of disturbance. Voice is coming.
No, sir. Fan, sir. No, one second, sir. Fan. Now, okay, sir?
Yeah, fine. So the default security group allows communication between all the resources within the security group, allows all outbound traffic and denies all other traffic. So basically you can use for outbound traffic or inbound traffic also. Outbound traffic means I want to send a request to particular machine from my EC2. Then it can be private EC2, it can be public EC2, it can be sent it. So I can do only sending the message as outbound traffic only. I don't need to have both all traffic or something. So another EC2 can be there, only inbound request can come. Let us say you want to store something in the database. So what happens? Inbound request is enough for that, right? These are the policies one need to understand to define the security groups.
Okay.
Right? So you may change the rules for default security group, but you may not delete the default security group. So normally default security groups were not supposed to delete it. If you delete it, there will be issue. So again, you need to contact AWS people to release that. Okay. So for each security group, you add rules that control the inbound traffic to instances and a separate set of rules that control outbound traffic. So row wise, we are going to add it inbound and outbound that we are done in the practice, right?
Yes, sir.
So these are the port numbers, typical rules we use it. Now, if you see the bottom diagram, comparison of security groups and network ACLs. What is network ACL? That is network access control list. Basically, network access control list will be there on top of the subnet within the VPC. Each subnet will have one ACL. ACL is another layer of the security.
Okay.
And security group is related with particular EC2 instances. It can be attached to allow the traffic inbound, outbound for that. But at the same time, network ACL also can have the rules, similar rules. We'll see in further slides about the ACL.
Okay.
Okay, so here you have two subnets, and on top of EC2s you have security group. On top of the subnet you have ACLs. So ACLs are specific to particular subnets. Right?
Okay. So we will be covering later, sir.
ACL we are going to cover it.
Okay, sir.
ACL we are going to cover. We will do some practice also.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, what are the points can be considered it while following the security group rules? So you can create up to 500 security groups for each VPC. Within VPC, if you take, you can have maximum 500 groups. So you can add up to 50 inbound, 50 outbound rules. In any security groups, different protocols can be used. What are the types of the protocols? TCP/IP can be there, SSH can be there, then HTTPS can be there, HTTP can be there. There are other protocols also with the database. So many are there. If you click on the add rules, you will see the list of them.
Okay. So each network interface will have 5 security groups. Am I right?
No, 500.
No, each network interface, sir. No, entire VPC we can have 500 security group. From each network interface, so if I take one interface, I can create up to 5 security groups.
What
That's
is
what
network interface?
they mentioned, sir. You can associate up to 5 security groups with each network interface. The second point, sir.
Which yes, yes. I meant to read that actually.
Oh, okay.
I stopped there and explaining the scenario to you.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. If you need to apply more than 100 rules to an instance, you can associate up to 5 security groups with each network interface. Basically, you saw that network interface, right? Elastic network interface. Those concepts can be used with security groups also. Basically, ENS can be associated with particular subnet, and groups also can be routed through ENS also. But these will not go because you will not have a security group more than 50 rules, inbound and outbound rules. Because what happens is when you create a security group, you will be creating for particular options only. You will not give all kinds of access to one EC2 mission.
Yes, sir, correct, sir. We have most probably 80 and 443 and all those things.
The guys who all worked in the sysadmin roles or any admin roles, they will try to break these rules here while discussing in the theory. But in practice, how you are going to implement them, they don't have any idea.
Okay.
And my past experiences with the people who participated in my course, they ask some questions. If it is such case, what? Up to 50 rules, you tell me what is the main purpose of the group. Group purpose is I want to create particular protocols. Each protocol can have inbound and outbound rules, right? So within 50, 49 are reminded. Then next one, what is it? One you might have used SSH, another one you might use HTTP, HTTPS, another one, 3 rules are there, right?
Yes,
Then
sir.
47 are reminded. So what else you are going to use it? There might be other things also. But how many more you can use? Maximum 5 or 10 only. 50 rules where you are going to use it. If you are going to use that, EC2 is not a secured instance, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the policy security? Should not give more access levels.
Okay.
There itself you are going to filter them, right?
Yes, sir.
So that concept people don't understand it.
Okay.
The scenario based how it can be implemented kind of thing. So you can specify allow roles but not deny roles. This is an important difference between security groups and ACLs. In ACL is sitting on top of the subnet. The request can be rejected by ACL. There can be deny request on particular IP, you can put it. Let us say in the network, what happens? One hacker is there. Every day is hacking it in the night or offline time of business hours, servers. Now the network administrator pulled the IP address from the log file. He can put in the ACLs to block that particular access. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So, but here in groups, that kind of things will not be there. But you can you can allow on particular protocols only. You can't block the IP in groups.
Okay.
ACL can be used for blocking that.
Okay, sir.
You can specify separate rules inbound and outbound traffic. By default, no inbound traffic is allowed until you add inbound rules to the security group. When the security group is created it, by default one rule will be there. So outbound rule only will be there. Why by default it is giving? Because any mission need to have updates. Right? So it can send communication to particular thing, right?
Okay.
Then outside request will not come. See, if I am sending from my database, I need to update particular patch for DB. Then I can send a request. Yes, I need to update it. This is the thing. Then immediately I'll get a request.
No incoming, only outgoing only will
Yes,
be there.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
okay.
My communication with my request is asynchronous will be there. Yes, I'll go and get that into my location downloading file. That's all. But other people cannot access this particular instance.
Okay.
That is inbound rule.
Okay.
Okay. So by default, inbounds are not allowed. Inbounds are not allowed. Outbounds are given it. But if you want to modify, you can modify. Depends on your security planning.
Okay.
By default, new security groups have an outbound rule that allows all outbound traffic. You can remove the rule, add outbound rules that allow specific outbound traffic only. And security groups are stateful. This means the responses to allowed inbound traffic are allowed flow outbound regardless of outbound rules and vice versa. That's where I told you asynchronous communication can be there. Like you are sending a request to updates, then it should come back with a proper response.
Okay.
That is considered from the outbound rule only.
Okay.
Because you are getting the response against your rule played it.
Okay. Sir, I have one more small doubt, actually silly doubt only. When they say it's a region, right? If they say for in Singapore there are 3 regions are there, right?
No. Singapore is one region. There are availability zones.
Availability. Sorry.
Zones.
Sorry, sir. Is that? Yeah. There are 3 availability zones are there. Whether we come to know as a customer, can I come to know where the availability zone are, where is located? How I can see this AWS infrastructure, physical data, physical
See, there
infrastructure.
are 25 or 20 plus regions are there worldwide. If you go
Yes,
to
sir.
the AWS documentation, there should be a tabular form which gives in each availability region, in each region, how many zones are there, what are those things, locations.
Yes, in paper is there, sir. What I'm asking is, as a customer, if I want to know the where you have the infrastructure, if I want to see the AWS infrastructure, is it possible to see, sir?
If you are admin, if you are a full access guy, you can see that.
I come to know the where it's located, which
Yes.
site address also. Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
See, let us say you created one VPC now.
Yes, sir.
You are a parent account holder as well as IAM role holder.
Okay, sir.
With IAM role you created. Now you can go to the parent account and pull the VPC information.
Okay.
That is accessible, right? Any account, IAM role can be accessed. IAM user ID information can be accessed because you are the master account holder.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, right?
Yes, sir. Have you seen any AWS data centers, sir? Your experience, past experience?
AWS?
Data centers.
No, I haven't visited. If I want to visit, I need to be employee of AWS, right?
Oh, no, I say like third party or somewhere like that.
No. But I know back-end enterprise courses I have seen with some of the institutes where they are running how to manage the data centers. I know the methodology in the back-end. And on top of that, they are hosting these software services like using browser, these kind of services. What we are operating. Even if you see Adani data center or maybe these people are coming, Geo is coming, right?
Yes, sir.
Ambani's.
Yes, sir.
So there also they are hosting the product. These are software products into the front end, but back end it is connected to particular servers to operate them into virtualization.
Okay.
So that enterprise architecture courses are there through some companies.
Okay.
So in backend, what they can do is they all should be aware of that design, enterprise architecture design in the backend.
Okay, sir.
But in front end, we are service users only.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
So as a service user, we are playing around with the networking, our networking requirements.
Okay. Customer also will come to know, no, sir? If
Customer will come to know what we are doing also.
Okay. Where it's located.
Yes,
Suppose they're saying in pre-availability zone,
yes.
they know where it is located also.
Yes.
It's confidential to users.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
But all are in the part of the confidentiality agreement only, right? Privacy statement is there, right?
Yes, sir.
So whatever Amazon says, it doesn't matter for customer because they are the partners with confidentiality, right? They need to maintain that.
Oh, okay. I'll check it. One of my friend got in AWS. He's working in Australia. I'll check with him, sir, later.
Australia, more jobs are there for AWS.
Yes, sir.
There are people getting interviews from Australia to India to process work permits also.
Yes, sir.
I have found one person, she attended that recently.
Oh, okay. Got job, sir?
Now, while getting the offer, there was some issue came for visa purpose, I think.
Okay.
So it got holded, it kept under hold.
Okay, sir.
Right. Ninth point is this is an important difference between security groups and network ACLs. Like you have inbound, outbound traffic that you are controlling through the protocol only. But in ACL, you can control from particular point onwards also. So in 10th point is instances associated with the same security group cannot talk to each other unless you add rules allowing it. Like EC2s are there. Let us say one MySQL server, one Apache 2 server. You want to communicate with each of them. Then what you are supposed to do? You should use the same group.
Okay.
Right? So rules, at least rules should be mapped. Same rules should be there to communicate with them.
Okay.
Let us say you used one SSH using one terminal, Linux terminal connected to EC2. From that EC2, you can connect to another EC2 also using SSH.
Yes, sir.
It is possible, right, in the shell?
Possible, sir. Public key exchange.
Yes, when you want to connect there, yes, you should have a security group allowed.
Yes, sir.
So that is the example I can give you here.
Okay.
So you can change, if a SSH rule is not passed there in the security group, then what happens? No, it denies that, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you can change, it is just like you have a TCP/IP protocol, you are connecting to some other server through TCP/IP. For that, you are going to ping it and you give the IP address, then it should accept the request from this IP address. Other end, you need to have a registration in the IP process, TCP/IP protocol purpose. It can accept your request. Then only it allows you to enter into that system.
Okay, sir.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So that's where the FTP process works, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you can change the security groups with which an instance is associated after launch, and changes will take effect immediately. So even if you have a security group, whatever EC2s are there, those security groups can be changed. Remember, these security groups are system level security groups, not the IAM group. You understand it?
Yes, sir.
What we are talking is EC2 level security groups, not IAM groups.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it, sir.
Okay. Right. Now let us see the diagrams. Here on top chart, if you see, there is a scenario only, instances wise. There is a VPC in region 1, region A and B. And if you see, yes, it is connected through Lambda function and CloudWatch is there. Events are monitored it through the CloudWatch. Then there are instances. So these instances will have security group. This security group is managed under this particular cluster. So they might have some particular rules, under add rules. So within that, this group is working. The same way, there is another VPC. It can have a peering kind of thing, network peering, VPC peering. And yes, the same cluster security group can be used. Now, this guy wanted to access in this instance, as it is possible through access it. So, because the rules are same.
Okay, sir.
To allow into that privacy. Right?
Yes, sir.
But still your ACLs are sitting on top of the subnet. Remember that. ACLs also need to allow them. ACLs will allow when you have a peering connection, definitely, from one VPC to another VPC, because peering will not be approved it unless ACLs are mapped it.
Okay.
To allow this particular connection.
Okay.
Right? You think physically in the networks itself, same concepts they use it.
Yes, sir.
Now you see here, 1 minute, another diagram I am supposed to see. Here, another instance, another scenario. I don't want to say instance. Instance belongs to virtual machine in this concept. Another scenario, if you see, there is a VPC and it is connected to different subnets. Yes, there is a routing table on top of the subnets. This routing table is related to VPC, right? Then I mean, here there is a routing table actually. This routing table has got 16 and it is distributed 24 to different subnets. Now, subnet wise routing table is there. For this subnet, there is a routing table. After routing table, ACL is configured. In reality, by default, ACL is configured. We will not know that. But if you want to modify the ACL for security purposes, you can do that. Right? The same way, this subnet also has got same thing, but ranges are different. You can see here IP ranges.
Yes.
Right? So yes, there are different combinations we are checking for IPs also. Okay. Right. Now next one is, you can see here. Okay, VPC security capabilities we'll see. So what are the security capabilities? When you see VPC security capabilities, there is a firewall. Amazon Institute provides a complete firewall solution. This mandatory inbound firewall is configured in a default deny mode, and Amazon Institute customers must explicitly open all ports needed to allow inbound traffic. What are the ports? One is group level ports are there. Another one is ACL level ports are there. Right?
Yes, sir.
So the traffic may be restricted by protocol, by service port, as well as by service IP address. IP address can be configured in ACL, but it cannot be configured in the group. Right? Individual IP or classless CIDR can be used. The firewall can be configured in groups, permitting different classes of instances to have different rules. So what are these classes? I might have a different instances, categories. Each instance can have particular groups. But commonly, I might have under add rules, common rules with the different ports configured in them. The group for the web servers would have port number 80, HTTP, and 443 for HTTPS on the internet connection purpose. The group for the application servers would have port 8000, application specific accessible only to the web server group. The group for the database servers can have 3306, like MySQL port is that one. Then all the groups would permit administrative access on port 22 with SSH, low level terminal access basically. But only from customers' corporate network it is allowed this SSH. Highly secured applications can be deployed using this expressive mechanism as per the diagram. Now you see in the diagram, let us see. If you see the diagram, there is a wall, right? Yes, so first one, if you see port 80 and 443 have got the open to the internet gateway. Okay. So through 80 and 443, HTTP and HTTPS is opened. Yes, then there is a web tier, application tier, database tier, and EBS volumes are attached in the 3-tier architecture.
Okay.
Right. Now, stuck up this particular screen. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. If you see the next one, authorized third parties can be granted SSH access to select AWS resources. It means, let us say you have your Linux machine. From Linux machine, you want to connect it to EC2 in the backend. So you are allowed to connect it because you have given the authorization for that.
SSH authorization. Yes, sir.
PEM file is there. With PEM file, it identifies you are a right user, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, all other internet ports blocked by defaults. So, except these scope of the port numbers, it is not allowing to any other connections. because the configuration is done like that.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
But they mention is explicitly open on EC2 customers must explicitly open all ports needed to allow inbound traffic.
Which one you are reading?
The same one only, sir. The VPC capabilities. They mentioned like EC2 provides a complete firewall solution. This mandatory inbound firewall is configured.
Which one you are reading? Where you are reading? Can you tell me?
Just go up, sir. Just scroll up, sir.
You have to tell me up or down. Yeah, tell me.
Okay. No, I'm seeing my document actually.
No, it's okay. EC2 provides a complete firewall solution.
Yes, sir.
Solution is what is your requirement? Depends on that. The firewall can be designed it.
No, sir. I want this statement. So the EC2 customer must explicitly open all ports needed to allow inbound. Why EC2 customer is explicitly open if any port is needed? Because inbound traffic by default is denied only.
No. What is this meaning? Needed. On need basis only you are allowed to open all ports.
Yes, sir. Because already the AWS is saying that it's a deny mode. By default, it's a deny mode. The inbound one. But why the people are opening? I want to know the reason, sir.
I will read this sentence. I'll tell you. Okay. This mandatory inbound firewall is configured in a default deny mode initially.
Yes, sir.
Okay, with ACL only, not a group. Group will not have deny policy. It will not have the rules, first of all. It will have only outbound traffic.
Yes,
we discussed it, particularly in the point.
Yes, sir.
Now, Amazon EC2 customers must explicitly open all ports needed to allow inbound traffic. Needed to allow inbound traffic means what is inbound traffic? Inbound traffic can come from internet one source, another source SSH.
Oh, okay.
So needed is what? I need SSH connection, I need internet connection. Request should come from internet to access my servers. Let us say you are configuring e-commerce site. Then you have a 3-tier architecture. Yes, if you don't have incoming request, how the users can access your servers?
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Don't use your perceptions and assumptions. This is a different setup.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, you have any other questions in this documentation?
No, sir. No. Why I asked this question? I'm thinking if they allowed means hackers will come. No, sir.
No. If they allow by default, they are not allowing. It said right.
Yes, sir.
Even the deny mode in the beginning, but you can customize them.
Okay.
Customization is nothing but depends on the requirement you are going to do. You will not add 100 rules in that, right? Or 50 rules. 50 rules.
Yes, sir. 1 or 2 rules only.
On the need basis only you are adding it. Need is nothing but from requirement it comes.
Okay.
Any other questions about this diagram?
This diagram is all other internet ports blocked by default. All other internet ports. The fourth one I'm just confused.
So you have only these 2 ports open, right, for internet?
Yes, sir. 80 and 443.
So there are other ports also can be used for internet purpose, right?
Okay.
Request and you can open other ports also for internet purpose, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it not?
Yes, sir.
So those all are blocked because there is no point of discussing on this topic because initially it will have only outbound traffic rule.
Okay.
Then you are modifying to add with 80. 80 will have inbound, outbound both. Then 443 you added it for HTTPS. Okay. Then that will have inbound, outbound. You extended the scope of the accessing.
Okay.
Then there are other port numbers also, but we are not going to use them. When you are not using, yes, it is blocked. Nothing but blocked only.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Blocking is what if you are not allowing them, that is nothing but a block. It doesn't mean all the ports can be filtered and kept in the database. If request comes from this port, don't allow like that. You don't need to define such kind of rules. Our group rule is whichever you want to allow, you put them, then it is going to filter that. That's all.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir. Getting, sir. Yeah.
You need to take one word by word and read these sentences. These are all US or North American English. The English pattern is different from European to North America, and also APAC partially it was ruled by Britishers in the past.
Yes, sir.
The terminology or the phrasing will be equivalent of European in those countries.
Yeah.
Including India, but this complete content is from North American side.
US, yes, sir.
Yes. So now let us see network access control list. Network access control list is another layer of security that acts as a stateful firewall on a subnet level. We have discussed that where ACL sits in the diagrams also. And a network ACL is a numbered list of rules that AWS evaluates in order, starting with the lower numbered rule to determine whether traffic is allowed in or out of any subnet associated with network ACL. So we have seen the diagrams on top of the subnet ACL is sitting. So there itself it is getting filtered with the rules. Now Amazon VPCs are created with a modifiable default network ACL associated with every subnet that allows inbound and outbound traffic. The same group type of setup is there, but rules formation is different in ACL, right? Okay. When you create a custom network ACL, its initial configuration will deny all inbound, outbound traffic. This is a default setup as we discussed it, but later on you need to modify them until you create a rules that allow otherwise. It means you are going to add your own rules depends on the ACL. Okay. You may set up network ACLs with rules similar to your security groups in order to add a layer of security to your VPC. So below the VPC, ACL will be there, and below that subnet will be there. You may choose to use default network ACL that doesn't filter traffic traversing the subnet boundary. Overall, every subnet must be associated with a network ACL, and this below table you can see here. Network ACL, how it is.
Sir, can we stop by here, sir?
At this slide we will stop it. 1 minute.
Okay, sir.
What is there? Okay, NAT instance is there. We'll see tomorrow. NAT instance. So here, let me finish this one.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, is there? So security group is this one. See the differences here. Security group operates at the instance level. Virtual mission level it operates. ACL operates at the subnet level because it covers the filters of subnet, right? Then group supports all rules only, allow rules only, supports allow rules. Here what happens, support allow rules and deny rules also. You can put particular deny also in particular rule. It means allow and deny, two options will be there here, right? And when you define the rule in security group, by default it will be allowing it. If you don't define rule, that rule won't exist.
Okay.
Right? Stateful return traffic is automatically allowed regardless of any rules. What is return traffic? When you are sending the outbound request to update particular database, then it will go to internet and
it will acknowledge back. Yeah.
Yes, and not only acknowledging, it will bring the required content for download.
Yes, yes sir.
Let us say you want to download particular Vim utility or Apache 2 utility or something. Yes, you can do that. Then it brings back, but no other request will come from external parties.
Okay.
It will not allow. So AWS, here what happens here, network ACL is stateless. Return traffic must be explicitly allowed by rules. Whatever rules are defined within the scope of them, it allows it. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Then evaluates all rules before deciding whether to allow traffic or not. It means group rules are there within the scope only, it does that. And then network ACL is AWS process rules in number order when deciding whether to
allow traffic.
Yes. So there is a first rule, second rule, you are going to define them. Right? Then
by layman term, it's a network ACL is it's something like a firewall one. How the network firewall is doing the rule.
Yes.
The similar to like that.
Yes, similar to network firewall rules only. It is. See, ACL they are pulled from the existing setup only. It is not a new concept.
Okay.
ACL is there in your network also. You make a friendship with your network administrator. You ask them how it is defined. It just I want to understand the concept. Then they will be able to tell the details also.
I'll ask tomorrow, sir. One guy is there.
Yeah, these are the things you are supposed to get from your local people.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And applied selectively to individual instances. This group is meant only for EC2, virtual machine. But here it is applied on top of the subnets. So automatically applied to all instances in the associated subnets, that is back layer of defense. But when SL has got filters, again one more filter is there in the group level for the EC2s.
Okay.
It means two layers are there here in the overall virtual machine protection purpose.
Okay.
Are you getting?
I'm getting, sir.
Yeah. Now, if you see the diagram, there are subnets, and these all are inbound, outbound traffics are defined it, and according to the rules, it is designed it here. Rule 1 is there, rule 100 is there, something like that. Rule IDs are there. Okay. And then security groups is defined here for SSH purpose, and all traffic is allowed it. Another one. Okay. Yeah, that's all. I'll stop the recording.